Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Friday morning edition of the Moose Minute Project. Yes, it is Friday, end of the work week, sunny, beautiful. Weather is going to be pretty nice here in southwest Wisconsin. So welcome to the Moose Minute Project titled, Someday I Will Learn. I should put a question mark, a couple spaces after that, or a maybe. So, where is this coming from? With all the things that are going on, with everything that's going on in life in general, and then in the political world and everywhere else, and what we are uncertainty with parts and things like that, with the new tariffs and all of those kind of things, I get overwhelmed. And I respond in that aspect. Some way I've always responded. Some of it's getting worse, but most of the time I've responded this way. Like I've said before, I am not a gray area. I do not have that area. I am very black and white. I voice my opinion. I'm short to it to voice it sometimes. And which in return, I reply not very well. So I've had a few responses to Facebook. I'm saying not from people, but my own responses that were not appropriate in ways of doing it. So for that, I apologize. I can't say it won't happen again because I'm not good enough to do that. I will start trying to work on pushing the old pause button again. I have that perfect little white button in the back of my head that my mom always told me was my pause button, and I needed to learn how to push it. So I will work on that because it needs to be done. The inappropriate responses that I see from so many people, the downright derogatory comments that I have received towards me, or anybody else that does not believe one way or the other, and I'm going to say one way or the other because it happens on both sides, is tearing this world apart. And so I have deleted said comments because after thinking about it, they were not right. And to those that I have made those comments to, I apologize. I am very sorry. It doesn't take away from the fact that that's how I still feel. But I do apologize for the comments be said. They should have been handled in a different way. I wish I was as professional as my wife. I don't have that job. I've never been in that kind of environment where no matter what happens, you have to be professional. In her job, that is the case. In her job, she handles everything way differently. A couple of her friends, one of them, for example, that posted on mine with the actual very appropriate and professional response. She's a phenomenal friend. She's extremely smart, well educated, and they articulate very well. Me, not so much. So if you find yourself responding in very short ways, slow down, take your time to think about how to respond. My response to quite a few people, and this goes back even to when I probably was not appropriate. And for that, I have to live with the consequences with some of that. But again, I am very black and white. I see through things. I've been this way since I was younger. I have seen through things, and I've seen through the BS of a lot of people, and I call them out on it. And sometimes it becomes inappropriate as far as how I feel, and then I just shut things off. Or I stuff it inside and just say, whatever, done. I've got a teacher right now that I've respected all through school. He posts things that's how he feels, and it's his page, and he can feel that. And I have not seen so much disrespect towards somebody as you see when he posts his things on his page. It's his page. Kind of like this is mine. If you don't like somebody's page, or if you don't like their comments, there's that wheel on your mouse, or on our phone, you just do this. Keep scrolling. And that's what I have to start doing, is I need to just scroll, because, again, just heard that Kennedy Jr. says now that they're going to have answers, and they're going to have a whole thing for autism in just a few short months. In my mind, I feel it's ridiculous. There's no way. Unless they come up with this theory, and he's had his theory about vaccines and how vaccines is causing this. They've proven that the vaccines don't necessarily, I don't even know where to go with it, because I don't know but autism has been around for a long time, and our family is affected by some of it. If they can, great. Holy moly, it'll be a breakthrough. It'll be awesome. Kind of like Alzheimer's. Kind of like cancer. I feel the problem with Alzheimer's and cancers, and this is my feeling, is there's too much money. Big Pharma and everybody else involved can make more money, and diabetes and anything. They can keep more money in their pockets by keeping us sick. And cancer and Alzheimer's and lupus, to name any disease or anything you want. If we can cure autism within the next 3 or 4 months, like he's promising, that he will have an answer. And I don't know how you can do that. All I know is that I can't buy into a lot of what's going on. I feel there's way too, and everybody says it, Chris, it's both sides. I get it. Totally understand. But when you have a president stand up in front of a whole bunch of people and make the comments he has made lately about countries calling to kiss, they are going to call to kiss our ass goodbye. That's what they're going to do. So I apologize again to anybody that I have made comments to. I was not part of fear-mongering that I was blamed for. That I was just posting it to think about. That's generally what my posts are about, is just take time to think. Instead, it gets turned into, oh, you're just fear-mongering or anything else. No, that's not what I want. I want people to take time to really think about what's going on. So, again, I apologize to those if I've pissed you off in the past with being not professional or appropriate. I apologize for that. However, they are my feelings. I may not word it professionally like my wife would, or any of her friends, or our good friends that are very professional. And I may not word it that way, because I just don't word it that way. So, and like I've said before, if you walk away because of my stance, I think it says a lot about friendships and how really good friends you are. If you don't check in on people after they've checked in on you, it says a lot about where that friendship is too. So things need to change for me. And I need to start making those changes, and they'll start. So again, apologize, but in a way, my feelings are still how they are. I don't agree with what's going on. I don't agree with how things are handled right now. And you can tell me all you want, but this country right now is the most divided it has been in a long time. And it has been headed this way for years. If we get rid of the two-party system, and if we can get people in politics to get rid of so many other things, but they'll never do it because there's too much money involved. And you saw it the other day. And watch the stock markets, and everybody's like, oh, look at the rebound now. See, it's working. Well, now it didn't do it. So now what's the excuse? Where is the wordage for that? That's just my thoughts. So, have a great day. Sun is out. Enjoy the weather. I'm going to try to smoke some moles out of the yard this weekend. So if you drive by and you see my yard on fire, it's probably from these new mole gasser things that I bought. And I'm going to try to smoke them out and try to get rid of them because they have destroyed my yard. So that's on my hit list today, this weekend. And then I am going to watch a niece that is very talented, graduating from college, very smart, and can dance. And we're going to go watch a dance recital that I've never been to except for when my grandkids are little, or when Alicia was in cheer. So we'll see. It's going to be pretty cool, I think. So have a great weekend, guys. I'll be back Monday morning with another Moose Minute project. Have a great day. And as always, take time to bless somebody.